I'll be making an Ohara color scheme arrangement in the traditional method using 3 colors of chrysanthemum. I'll also be using sheet bows to keep all the material secure in the arrangement. And so I'll be using a 3-ring sheet bow, and it goes behind the center line of the container in this L shape. I'm then going to use two ring sheet bows. One will go right below in the lower left-hand corner of the arrangement, and a second 2-ring sheet bow will go in the sort of lower right-hand corner. We'll be able to move this. And so this will be one way of placing the sheet bows. If you don't have 2-ring sheet bows, you can also use a 3-ring sheet bow, and you would insert it like this and place it in the lower left-hand corner of the container. Once we have our sheet bows in place, let me now start by selecting the subject stem. One thing about chrysanthemums is, for this arrangement, you want to make sure you have a lot of leaves. You need to give the flowers some space, and so if you have a lot of leaves, it allows you to position the chrysanthemums properly. One thing to know about chrysanthemums is they absorb water through the back of the leaves. So you always want to wet them or spritz them with some water underneath the leaves. So the first place I'm going to do it, first I'm going to measure length plus depth plus a little more, so it's going to be about this long. And I'm going to put it in this small hole in the 3-ring sheet bow in the back. And I know I'm going to need to create a brace to keep it in place. So the second one is the secondary stem, and this will go in the lower left-hand 2-ring sheet bow in this hole here, in this small opening. Okay. Now, the next stem I'm going to insert will be the middle filler. And again, there's a large gap here, so I want to select flower that's large and will help fill in this space. And for this one, I'm going to put it in the 3-ring sheet bow in the front small opening. So the subject is in this opening, the middle filler will be in the opening right in front of it. Okay. Now when it comes to the subject tall filler, cut it. Remove any stems that are below the rim of the container. And this stem is actually the same length as the secondary, but because it is not slanted as much, it looks longer, but in fact they're actually the same length. And for this one, I'm going to insert it in the large opening in the back. Subject is here, the tall filler will be in this large opening. And in this case, I'm going to use 2 braces so that it stands fairly upright, coming in front of the subject stem. Okay? Now, that leaves the lower filler, and for that I'm going to use a smaller, thinner stem, and in this case it will be placed in the lower left-hand sheep bow in the large opening here. I'm going to try to cut it at a sharper angle to see if I can wedge it in that corner there. There we go. Okay. So we now have our subject secondary group. The next stems I'm going to put in is the middle group. And for this, I'm going to use a yellow chrysanthemum. This will be my tall chrysanthemum, so it's going to be just a little bit shorter. And this will go in the openings here, okay, in the back. I will probably place it in this back opening, maybe in this front opening on the 3-ring sheep bow. Also notice that this particular stem has very little leaves, very few leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a stem from another flower that broke off that had a lot of leaves, and I'm going to use this as the brace. So I'm going to insert this, and then I am going to maybe a little shorter. It's slanting a little too much, so I'm going to add another little brace. Let me get the low filler. Little lower. And in this case, I'm actually going to place another flower in the back. That leaves now the object group. And the object group will all be placed in this lower right-hand sheep bow. Now for that, I'll be using these white chrysanthemums. One thing about chrysanthemums is you want to make sure you clean the base of each leaf. Many times you have these small leaves on either side, or you have flowers emerging from the base of the leaf. You want to make sure all of those are removed. Okay. So for the object group, as always, it will be placed in the small hole here in the front sheep bow. I'm going to see if I'm going to need a brace. I don't think so. There we go. Okay. I'm then going to add the object low filler. And again, I'm going to clean these little leaves that are at the base of each leaf. Make sure I cut everything back so it's flush. It's going to go there. Okay. That then leaves the object tall filler. And for a 3 material moribana, the object tall filler is lower than the object. And as always, the object goes in this small opening in the front, the tall filler goes in the small opening in the back of the same shippo. Now I can slide this shippo a little closer. Oh. So that's a traditional color scheme using traditional method, using 3 colors of chrysanthemum.